It's been a while since I talked about industry knowledge, okay, practical industry knowledge, the know-how of how to plan events. So today I'm going to talk about assigned seating. What exactly is assigned seating? That means when you do an event, you have a assigned seats, all right, or area for a group of people in who are coming. All right. So for instance, for weddings, assigned seatings means table numbers, or actually and or. That means at each table, you actually place who is sitting next to who. So let's talk about weddings and then I talk about a corporate event. All right. So when you have assigned sittings for a social event, be it a wedding or any social events, all right, sometimes even corporate events, when you have assigned sittings, there's two categories. There is the category of assigned seating of a particular area, actually three categories. There is an assigned seating of a particular area where this area is for one group of people, and then this area is for another group of people, and is a general area. So it's just an area. There's no specific table or specific seat at each table. So it's just general area, just like when you go to a concert. Okay, so the first few rows is assigned seating for those people who pay premium dollars, right? And then the middle section is the medium price ticket, and then the most further away from the stage, that's the general public or the lowest cost ticket. That's what we call assigned seatings by general area. And then there's also assigned seatings by tables. Okay. So you could be buying tickets for the most expensive area. But in the most expensive area, that could be specific tables that you're supposed to sit, assuming that those tables, right? Maybe the first row, second row, and the third row. So in the most expensive sitting group, there's three rows. So if you pay top dollar, you are the very first row. So those are the assigned table sittings. So when it is a wedding, let's just say, or a bar mitzvah, all right, you may have assigned table sittings. So you may want to have all the family members, immediate family members at this particular table and at this particular area of the ballroom. And friends could be a little bit further away from the dance floor, and they are all seated at these tables, this area. All right. And then there's also the assigned sitting of a particular table. And for this works really well for networking events, and also when it is an event that you want your sales team, okay, your sales team to be seated next to a particular potential client. So at the table, you actually place where your salesperson is sitting, and then you place the potential client next to the salesperson instead of at the far end of the table. So this is what we call assigned seating. We use that a lot as well in weddings, where you have, like for myself, for my own wedding, we have assigned seatings for the VIP table. Only the VIP table. The rest is just assigned tables. All right. So nobody has to sit at this particular seat. But for the VIP table, I actually have myself, my husband, and then I put who is sitting next to me. So there's a little place card that has the name of the guest. So the guests, when they check in, they will see which table number they are assigned to, where they're sitting. They go to that table number. And then when they get to the table number, you will see these little place cards, okay, where they will have the name of the guest. So they're supposed to sit where they are supposed to sit, where the place card is being placed. There's pros and cons. When I said the pros, especially in a networking event or a corporate event where it is important for someone from the organization to speak to a particular guest, okay, for business transaction purposes or for networking purposes. So you need to be very intentional when you're putting assigned seating, okay? Extremely important. So that means this person basically is stuck with this person the entire night, okay? They are seated next to each other. And a lot of times, very good conversations come out from it because it gives them time to develop a relationship or connection during the course of the meal or the dinner. Now, there's another reason why we have assigned seating that way. When you are offering a meal that has a choice, okay, a choice of fish or meat or vegetarian. So those place cards that you put the assigned seating at the table, we tend to use like stickers, okay, or markers. If you have selected to have beef, okay, then we are going to put a little, or meat, we put a little brown dot or sticker on your place cards. And if you chose fish, then we put a blue sticker on your place cards. And if you're vegetarian, we put a green sticker on your place cards. So when the servers come, they know immediately who's having fish, beef, or vegetarian. So there's nobody so there won't be a situation where the servers go to the table and say, who's the vegetarian here? Or who has the beef entree, or who has the fish entree? So we do that a lot when we know that this is a high-end event and we want to have fine service, okay? So very discreet, very elegant service. So those are the place cards will help the servers to identify their choice of entree. All right. So this assigned seating at a table. Now, for those of you who are coaches who are listening to this, okay, or who's doing ticketed in-person events, and you want to separate the ticket tiers. So that is the VVIP or the VIP sitting. Then you want, to create the status between VIP sittings and general sittings. Then you want to be able to block off the first few rows, the first few tables for those people who pay the premium tickets. And they also have additional perks. Number one is closer to the stage, right? Closer to the stage, and they'll be able to see the screen better, the content better, and have closer interaction with all the, they can feel the energy of the speaker because they're so close to the speakers. And also, they will also be the ones who enter into the room first. So they have, like, it's just like when you buy an airplane ticket, okay? They always bought the first class seats first and then the business class seats, correct? And then the general public. So that is like an exclusivity, that is like a status assigned to it, even though it's pretty discreet. It's not in your face, but we all can feel it, right? You will see those people going to first class seats and you'll be like, oh, I wish I'm in first class or business class, because they get to get on the plane and then they get the champagne, all those things, okay? So when you're pricing your tickets, think about all those perks that is able to, number one, sell tickets at a higher price, and the cost of giving those perks needs to be substantially lower than the cost of giving those perks that doesn't cost you anything. All right, preferably. So giving them the front row seats is not going to cost you anything. So, but it gives the social status, gives the first access, and it also gives a feel-good feeling to your attendees, those who bought those tickets. And they also have better seating. So all in all, it doesn't cost you anything financially, but it costs the ticket holders, but they're paying for it because they know they're going to get all these perks, and they put a value to those perks. So that's one way to actually get more revenue when you're selling your tickets, okay? So assigned seatings, generic area, or even assigned seats. And I have even seen, I have done ticketed in-person event for coaches where they have a private dinner. Okay, they have a private dinner, And those who pay the most money sit right next to the coach or opposite the coach, but a lot of times right next to the coach, so they don't have to talk across, so that they have the closest access to the coach. Okay, whereas the rest of the people are at the other end of the table, even though they still pay a lot of money to be in the same room with the coach, okay, for a private dinner, but you sit right next to the coach, okay, and you pay a little bit more. So that's when you have to put those assigned seatings, those names. And that's about it for today's session. I just want to come in here and do a mixture of my sessions. A lot of them are business related, a lot of them are mindset related, but I also want to sprinkle in some industry knowledge for those of you who are listening to my podcast, or who those of you who are watching my videos, that you still continue to learn about the industry knowledge. This could be very simple information for those of you who has been doing events for a long time, but I also pay attention to those of you who are just starting out, and these are the nuances of pricing your ticketed in-person events, and also delivering a very high-end, elegant, smooth service for your vendors and also for your guests. Hopefully, you'll find today's information useful, and time to call for CTA. All right, call to action. So today, my CTA will be my book, The Unstoppable Eventrepreneur, that you can get it on Amazon. So let me spell Eventrepreneur again. Eventrepreneur, Unstoppable Eventrepreneur. When you try to Google it, it will come out Unstoppable Entrepreneur. So you have to type it in. Okay, in the show notes, I'll put in the link. Now, this book, it is basically like a business course, but all in one book. And when I say a business course, it talks about business. It teaches you the strategy about how to build a business, and also the mindset required, financial knowledge, sales and marketing knowledge. But it also talks about industry, like the actual way to plan events as well. We talk about that too. So if you are just starting out, or you want to do some refinement of your business, check out the book. I think it's, we have different price point for a hardcover and paperback. Very easy read. I read it in 4 hours. I didn't want to overwhelm these readers, right? My readers. So I wrote everything very simple, easy to understand. And it's basically, when you're reading, it's like me talking to you. So I do it the same. It doesn't matter whether I'm writing or talking, it's always the same fashion. All right. Straightforward, direct, no beating around the bush. So go to the show notes and click on the link to check out the book. All right. Don't forget to always give me a rating, review, subscribe, share the podcast, the video to anyone in the events field, even business, right? Because I talk about basic fundamentals, business fundamentals that you think is going to benefit them when they listen. So remember, caring is sharing. Talk to you again next week.